you prefer is with Matt. Hey, 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 how you doing, everybody? Of course, this is Conversations with HB. Mwah, right? And we are HomeBase Poetry putting this on. HomeBase Poetry presents Conversations with HB. Happy to be here. Always happy to come to you and allow you to eavesdrop on some awesome conversations I have with incredible people. I'm really, really blessed to always be surrounded by amazing individuals, and we get to converse about different things all the time anyway. So wanted to give you all a sneak peek on what some of those conversations look like, how amazing the people are that I get to be around, that I get to encounter in my life, and maybe what you get a chance to hear, what you get a chance to see, what you get a chance to witness, may open your mind and give you some ideas, some direction that you can take so that you could grow, you could become better. Maybe some things you've been struggling with, maybe some things that you need some extra guidance on, not quite knowing how to tackle in your life. And these conversations can help you do just that. Pride myself on real talk and real combo, and that's what we participate in. So we're honored that you're plugging in, honored that you're taking a look at what we got going on, and hopefully you're taking your life seriously. I'm assuming that you are, because you wouldn't be watching this if you wasn't. You wouldn't be taking a look at this if you didn't say, you know what, I'm ready to go to the next level. You know what, I'm ready to learn, I'm ready to grow, I'm ready to develop. Because if you think you've already arrived, it's already over. It's already over. The day you know everything is the day you know nothing. And that's how that works. My uncle used to tell me, and I didn't understand it as a child because I thought I was smart, right? Like so many of you, I thought I was smart. I thought I knew everything as a kid. And my uncle used to tell me, boy, you so smart, you stupid. I didn't get it. It didn't make sense to me. I was so smart. How could I be stupid? And as I got older, I realized exactly what he meant. I thought I knew way too much. So I wasn't humble. I wasn't able to hear the lessons that I needed to hear. Wasn't able to let other people teach and educate me and help take me to another level. So as a result, I was stunting my own growth and my own development. It wasn't until life humbled a brother a little bit. And let me be very clear. You can't humble somebody else. It blows my mind when people try to humble other people. Life has to do that, right? That's an arrogant perspective from the beginning, to think it's our place to put somebody in their place or knock them down a peg. Because what if what we're seeing isn't a lack of humility, but just their reflection on how they view us as individuals? Maybe we just can't teach them anything because we don't realize what we're putting off in the perspective that we're putting on other individuals. So it could get deep when it comes to that. So the best thing to do is just lay off of that and let the universe humble other people. But we focus on humbling ourselves. We focus on allowing the universe and our different situations and circumstances to put us in a place where we could grow, we could learn, and we could develop. So I'm in that humble place right now because I want to learn from this sister that we have on the show today. I'm taking notes. I got a pen and pad. I suggest you do the same because she is success. This sister has done some amazing things. She has paved her own way in the industry with amazing talent, but she has made it work out of the state of Arizona. And who I'm talking about, of course, is Essence. Essence, do we have the camera on? Bam, that's your camera right there. You can say hi to the people.
Hello, everybody, and thank you, HB, for having me. I'm so honored to be here and to share.
Thank you for being on. It's an absolute pleasure, absolute honor. Thank you for taking the time. See, what you don't know about Essence is that, well, you could probably tell by looking at her hair, right? Take a look at it. The sister is put together. She's looking good, and she's making it work. She is a natural hair magician. She is an extraordinaire. She is the best of the best of the best when it comes to natural hair, competing in international shows. Have you ever done anything internationally?
No, but my work has been shown internationally.
Your work has been so internationally recognized, right? I don't even know what it's called. Is it a hairstyle, natural hairstylist? What's your official title when it comes to the hair industry?
For the hair industry, just a natural hair artist.
Natural hair artist? Mm-hmm. Absolutely. See, I told you we have artists on the show, right? It's a lot of different art. And when it comes to black hair, that's art. That is art for real. I've seen some of these shows, and I'm like, is that a helicopter? is that a helicopter in their hair? What is really going on? And you think to yourself, ain't nobody gonna walk around with a helicopter. Well, I would like to think you're right. Some may, but it won't ever get real popular. But if they could put a helicopter in somebody's hair, I think they ain't gonna have no problem with a blow and dry. You know what I'm saying? With a press and curl, right? They could pull the press and curl off pretty easy. And so not only does she do black hair, but doing the natural hair, and that is absolutely amazing. Actually, we met years and years ago when I had all the hair on my head. She used to braid my hair in high school, and she took that and turned it into a huge organization, huge company, huge success. I mean, from internet trainings and surveys, she is absolutely recognized and did some major things from a legal perspective when it comes to natural hair as well. So tell us about your natural hair journey. What got you into, doing natural hair from such a young age?
I just loved it. I started doing my brother's hair when Crisscross came out. He wanted his hair like that, and so he grew a nice little afro, and I just started braiding his hair. And from that, it just kind of took off. My mother was pretty much telling me that she had friends that wanted their children's hair done, and then my high school classmates were wanting their hair, and it just kind of went from there.
Right, and you never stopped. A lot of people do hair, right? A lot of people do some braiding and different things like that, but you took it well out of your living room, opened up shops, competed. I don't even know how would you even know how to compete? You know what I mean? With the natural hair competitions and things like that. Could you tell us a little bit about the beginning, just your journey and how it grew and how it exploded? Yeah,
absolutely. So I moved to DC. I left Phoenix in 2000, and I was still kind of indecisive about what I wanted to do in my life. And so I went to college out there for a while, and I just realized, like, this is, I really didn't know what direction I wanted to go, but I always came back to the braiding. And so I stayed in D.C. for about 3 years, and then divine, intervention came, and God led me back to Phoenix. And when I came back, essentially I found out that you had to have a license in order to do natural hair.
So you were doing natural hair in D.C.?
Right.
So you left. So Arizona's own, just so you know, it's a whole lot of people that be watching this, and the first thing you say to yourself, is black people in Arizona? Yes, there's black people in Arizona. Been for a while. So Arizona native, and doing natural hair in Arizona. Not a whole lot of natural hair around, but somebody had to take care of the people. Thank you for that, right? And then you moved to DC and continues to do hair in DC. Was it different as far as like the styles and the speed or the pace, or were you right on top of it with everybody else when you moved to DC?
I mean, once I got in there, essentially I just picked up where I left off, and I started to gain clientele, and it just kind of took off. So.
Nice. So then you moved back to Arizona and found out you needed a license to do natural hair. Why is that strange? What's weird about that?
Well, essentially, the State Board of Cosmetology were saying that anybody touching any type of hair, doesn't matter what you're doing, you have to have a license. And the reason why there was an issue is because I'm not doing anything that involves chemicals. And what I am doing, they're not teaching, nor are they testing on. So I would essentially be going to cosmetology school to pay money, spend time to get a piece of paper for me to not even practice what I've, went to school for.
Wow. And so does this rule exist in other states?
Yeah, absolutely. So there are very few states where the law has been changed, some where it's not necessarily enforced, but then the majority of the states it is enforced, and you have to have a cosmetology license in order to do anything.
And even to do natural hair?
Right.
Wow. So I didn't know that. I thought Arizona was just doing some of its classic weird Arizona stuff, like no MLK Day, you know what I mean? Mm-hmm. So this is actually a fairly universal rule and law, but you fought it here in Arizona, right? What made you, if it was a universal law, what made you just not accept it as, you know what I mean? It's just how it is. What would give you muster up the power to fight this thing?
A couple of different things. That's a loaded question if you're asking me that. But the reason being is because when I came back, I knew I came back for a purpose. I didn't know why. And so with that being said, when I called the state board and I realized there was this barrier, And in my way, I just had this indignation about, you know what I'm saying? Like, nah, they ain't gonna make me go to
How
school.
dare you?
So I got a little defeated for a second, but then I thought, how can I change this? I mean, I don't even know. I really have to just say it was nothing but the Most High that really led me on that path. And I just I can do something about this. And so I started to do a search on Google or Yahoo at the time.
Right.
Yeah, to find out who could help me represent.
So you went on Black Planet and started searching for some help. So on AOL, so you fired up your
yeah, that was 03, so it was
right. Dial-up was real. I'm sorry, go ahead.
No, you're fine. So I actually located a law firm who fights for justices as it pertains to economics. And so I talked to them, and they were super excited. And so I'm excited because they're excited, Right. And they had just opened the office here in Phoenix when I had contacted him maybe like a month or two prior. Mm-hmm. And so he came to my mother's house, and we spoke for a minute, and come to find out this same company had already set the precedent in California. So they were already familiar with this type of case.
Wow.
So they just like, we got this. And I'm like, okay, cool.
Nice.
Yeah.
They just needed somebody to help champion them.
Essentially, yeah.
You know what I appreciate about this story is that you can feel all alone in your battle and have no idea the allies that's just waiting on you to step up. That's just waiting on you to say something so that they can have your back. Sometimes you have to be willing to stand alone before your army ever shows up. Are you willing to stand alone in your battles? Are you willing to get out there and get it done regardless what's going on? And then eventually, how they say, you do everything you can, got to do everything you can, right? So next thing you know, the army showed up. You had no idea. There was no way to predict that they had already won this in the next state over.
Nothing.
But now you're in, they're running with it. They just need you as, a focal point, if you will. So then, was it a pretty quick win?
Yeah, it was fairly quick. We filed in December. I contacted them in September. We filed in December, Essence Pharma versus the State Board of Cosmetology. And within months, it was, pretty much expedited. We actually never even took it to court because Janet Napolitano, who was the governor at the time, heard about it, thought it was crazy, and was just like, I'm going to, sign off on this. And it pretty much exempted all braiders, natural hairstylists, locticians here in the state of Arizona to be able to do hair without the regulations of the state.
Huge win. Huge win when it comes to black hair. Huge win when it comes to culture. Huge win when it comes to respect for differences. That's massive. You know what I mean? So we had the right powers in place. Has it been challenged since then, or they just let it go? It just is what it is at this point.
It hasn't been challenged, but they did kind of try to intimidate. They try to come past my salon, and they have no jurisdiction, so they can't even really come in and do anything. And so the state board tried to come by, and I called my lawyer, and he was like, tell them, they give them my card. They can call me.
Wow. Was this right when it was happening?
This was maybe about a year.
A year later?
No, not even a year. This was probably because I was in my second location at this time, so maybe a couple of years after.
A couple years after. Mm-hmm. So they come by just angry, me mugging through the window, mad, looking like an ex. You doing good, huh? And they couldn't even touch you. Mm-hmm. I love it. You should have asked them if they wanted their hair braided.
Right?
She should have gave them some finger waves. That would have been awesome. So that's incredible. So let's talk about, first of all, thank you for that. I'm sure it's a whole lot of braiders out here, a whole lot of natural hair artists in the state of Arizona who don't even know to thank you and be appreciative. So thank you on their behalf. That's what's up. The Rosa Parks of natural hair in Arizona, you know what I mean? Of course, without the guns and the knives and the dogs and the police, but it was still pretty cool, right?
Right.
So talk to me a little bit about your business. So you came back and you was like, I opened a shop, then I opened another one, I opened another one. What made you open your own shop? Because you was working in somebody else's shop in D.C.
In D.C., right.
Okay, what made you open your own shop here? And then how did that explode? And now you're doing online training seminars. You're teaching massively. How did you get into the competitions nationwide?
So coming back to Phoenix, I essentially started out of my, I went back to my mother's laundry room for a minute. She was like, you can't have all them people back up in my house. So I ended up getting my apartment. And
that's always mama.
Right?
Making you step up.
You got to do something. So the reason why the law was fought kind of went hand in hand because I didn't want to be relegated into just being a home business or a kitchen beautician. Like I wanted to be able to provide that professional environment for my clients,
right.
And a lot of times, a lot of braiders were in the house because they weren't going to get a license, so
right.
they were operating not in the most conducive environments, and so I wanted to have a storefront, and so the law afforded me that opportunity, and so the law got passed in 2004. I didn't open the salon until 2006, and at the time that I opened the salon, I pretty much transitioned my clientele from my apartment into my new space. And so that was a journey in and of itself because, I knew nothing about business.
Yeah.
I took some college courses, but I never graduated. And I went to nursing school and graduated, worked for 4 months, and I was like, this ain't me.
Nice.
So for me to step into business, it was just very different, but I had clientele, so I knew how to braid and take money, but I didn't understand everything else.
Right,
so that was just like me failing my way forward.
Yeah.
But, so essentially, I opened my first location and I just had a vision. And when I realized there were things I didn't know, that, what do they call that? Unconscious incompetence.
Yeah.
And then you get to that conscious competence.
Absolutely.
So I realized there were things that I didn't know. And so it made me to seek out mentors and read books to find out how I can grow to get to where I'm at now.
So a major part of your journey was your personal development.
Absolutely.
And learning and reading. Because when you think of, doing hair and different things like that, a lot of people aren't even taking it that serious. That's why their business isn't taken that serious. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Right? So you committed to growing, developing. I mean, she started going through the levels of consciousness, right? For those of us that know, I know what you're talking about. When you're unconsciously incompetent, and then you're consciously incompetent, and then you're consciously competent because when you think about it, you do it right, but you got to think really hard to do it right. But then you want to get to a place where you're unconsciously competent, where you don't even have to think about it. It's like driving to work.
Sure.
You sometimes you wake up, you know what I mean, halfway at the job, right? Because you do it so much, and I'm sure that's where you are now. So you did you studied. You worked on getting better. You read books that seemed like didn't have a whole lot to do with hair, but you read a whole lot of books as far as business.
Yeah, and personal development.
Why was personal thinking? What does Think and Grow Rich have to do with you locking people's hair? Yes. Why are you reading How to Win Friends and Influence People? I heard you say failing for. I'm listening to you dropping nuggets. What does that have to do with some lock? I just want you to put some cowrie shells in here. What that got to do with Think and Grow Rich?
Well, the purpose of being in business is to be successful and to make money, right? Mm-hmm. Okay. Well, what I think people don't understand is it's not the money that you need, it's the mindset. When you get the mindset, you get the money. So what happens is I think a lot of people think that they need a miracle, you know what I mean, or they need to win the lottery, not understanding that the money and the wealth is in the information. And so for me, when I started to realize that and I started to pick up books that started to shift my thinking, then I started to realize I started to make different choices. And so that's what helped my business really evolve, getting around people who knew more than me and finding out, okay, why are they successful? They must know more.
So you wasn't okay being the most successful person in your circle?
No.
So you had to be around people that was doing better than you, maybe made you a little uncomfortable to force your growth?
Absolutely. Because it's not about intimidation, it's about inspiration. So for me, I'm not going to not be around those people because I'm intimidated. It's because, hey, they're going to inspire me to get to that next level. Like, I'm trying to be in a circle with
I told
Oprah.
You to get a pen and pad. I'm taking notes, not about intimidation. How you spell it? Inspiration. I'm loving it. You want to be in the circle with Oprah. You want to do this thing in a big way and really have an impact.
Right.
How has that impacted your growth?
I mean,
your business, your journey.
Tremendously. I mean, when you start to think wealth, these opportunities just really start to be attracted to you. I mean, there's no difference in creating the vision board and putting things out there and speaking those dreams into existence. And so I created a vision board and put all types of stuff on there. The school before I had the school.
Yeah.
Being in Essence Magazine. Next thing you know, I'm in Essence Magazine. And so it's just crazy how when you set your mind on it and you do the work, you actually get there.
That's right. So I like how you just kind of glossed over that you was in Essence Magazine. You know, you just said that real quick. And do you see this? Do you see this? Just yeah, you know, Essence Magazine. Could you tell me about Essence Magazine, please? Because that's awesome. That's I ain't never been in Essence Magazine. So Essence, how did you get into Essence Magazine?
Divine again. Essentially, I did a photo shoot, and I wanted to work with one of the best. So I flew a photographer out from New York. I really believe in investing in yourself if you want to get to that next level. So I didn't want to just work with anybody. I wanted to work with somebody who really had some expertise and experience. And so he came down. We did a photo shoot, and the purpose of the photo shoot was to get published. Never did I think Essence, like, yeah, that's great, you know. So the purpose was for a hair magazine, and I kind of
have an article, or
it was just to feature
your hair,
feature the hairstyles. So we did a photo shoot of different models,
photo shoot for your hairstyles and your models. Got it.
So I kind of joked in the photo shoot. I remember saying, you know, you never know, you might see yourself in Essence talking to one of the models.
Yeah.
Next thing you know, the photographer calls me. Matter of fact, I seen him in Atlanta because he goes down to this show that I go to, and he was like, "Your work got picked up by Essence." Blew my mind. Why? Wow. Because the work that I shot for the magazine that I was supposed to be in, it actually went in Essence months before it was even in the hair magazine that I initially shot for. So it was crazy.
That's so awesome.
Yeah,
that is incredible. So now. Are you still braiding personally? Are you still doing hair yourself?
No, I'm not. I do it for the purpose of teaching, but not taking clients.
So you transitioned into the teaching world.
Yeah.
Okay. So tell me about that transition. How did you know that was the next step? How did you know you were ready to teach? And what does the teaching look like?
How did I know I was ready to teach? It was nothing that I ever felt like I necessarily wanted to do. It was just like sometimes things just call you.
Of course.
And draw you.
Yeah.
And so for me, I kind of shied away from it for years. People would ask me because they liked my work, but in my mind, I'm a stylist. I'm not a teacher. And so I had to break past that mental block, and it really wasn't something consciously I did. I think I just woke up one morning and I was like, I'm supposed to teach.
Yeah.
I received it.
It just hit you.
And then it was confirmed by a client that very day, and I was like, okay, this is, this is the next move. And so for me, I feel like I can't share my story without sharing my faith. Every move that I've made has been a God move as opposed to a good move. Like, when it comes to, you can make money.
But you listen. You've been listening. You make the moves when it hits you.
Absolutely. So, I always tell people I don't do what I'm profited to do. I do what I'm purposed to do.
Yeah.
So that helps me navigate, what decisions I'm going to make.
And I respect your connection, because you got to have a fairly strong connection and a fairly strong faith to make those major shifts based off of your instincts, your gut, what you're being told to do from the Most High, right? I do have to ask you this. Natural hair is black business. Is that fair to say? It's fair to say. Natural hair is black business. And it's a lot of people who, especially in our community, that will love and look to have success in the black community, right? How would you encourage other black business owners or any advice you would give them to be able to have a very successful business in their own community with a predominant, if not completely, black clientele, right? Because I see some, they try, and one of my biggest pet peeves is bad business, no matter what your color is. Right. So could you give some nuggets, some guidance as far as, first, that it's possible to be very successful with black dollars, but then some guidance to those that's looking to do that?
Well, first I would say you have to believe that it's possible. It goes back to the mental block. Sometimes we think, there's no way I can survive just off of my own community. And I just say you have to first believe it. Outside of that, you have to pride yourself in excellence. My business is really a business that I would want to go to if I was a client. So I think about the experience that I want my clientele to have. And I think when you come with that mindset, it helps you to always be innovative and think of the best ways to deliver and to serve the community, because it's really about service. And I think what happens is a lot of times we have the opposite of that mentality. It's just like, I'm doing you a favor. And it's like it's service. So customer service really is key. It's not the product so much as the service in and of itself.
Excellent. Excellent. I'm taking notes. I need to know my last question, because you have dropped so many nuggets. You're so good at this, and I know that you teach from entrepreneurship to business to motivation to how to do this thing. So I need all that information, but I would be honored, and I'm asking you on camera, and this could turn out wrong. I would love to do we need to do like a seminar or something. You know what I mean? A business entrepreneurship seminar out here. I think we can help a lot of people. You know what I mean?
I'm with that.
You're so down? All right. Oh, I was nervous. That could have went bad. Ooh, you brothers be asking stuff online. They be like, no. Be like, oh, God. All right, cool.
Sign me up.
Man, that's what I'm talking about. So be on the lookout for that, because we're going to do some work. How can people find you? I know you even have online trainings and things like that. So tell us about that. This is your commercial. People want to follow you. People saw this. I'm blowing this up. I'm sending this everywhere. If you do natural hair in Arizona or anywhere in the U.S., you need to see this and know what it is. So tell me.
Absolutely. So Rare Essence Studio is the salon, and we're here in Phoenix, Arizona, but we're also looking to franchise. So there's opportunities in that direction, but we also do teach, and that's rareessenceacademy.com. If you're looking to learn how to do any type of natural hair styling, braiding, locking, twisting, even business, I also do business coaching as well. You can go to the website rareessenceacademy.com, and that's about it.
That's the one-stop shop right there?
I think so.
There it is. There it is. Essence is amazing, and Rare Essence has been around. When I put out my first book, she always lets me even put my books and CDs in her shops. Thank you so much. Grew together as entrepreneurs, and I'm taking notes from her, man. This was good stuff today. This was good stuff. I look forward to having you back on the show if you're willing to. Family, grow, develop. You heard it. Personal development. No matter what it is you're doing, no matter what it is you're working on, work harder on you. If I had to chop 4 hours to chop down a cherry tree, I'll spend 4 hours sharpening my axe, 1 hour chopping down the tree. Right? Some guy said that. I think it was a president, maybe Abraham. I don't know. But you get what I'm saying? You got to focus on yourself, work harder on yourself than you do on your business, and your business grows. Your business develops. And oh my God, what did you say? Pride yourself in excellence. Create the experience that you will want to have in that venue. I'm taking that to heart. HomeBase Poetry. Our next show is this Sunday, Easter Sunday. We got Real Talk coming to town, all the way from Atlanta, even though he's from Chicago. So from Chicago via Atlanta, he's going to be in town. He's going to rock the mic. An amazing MC, an amazing poet. I've seen this dude write stuff that's just mind-blowing. I've sat and watched him perform and just mouth open like, oh my God, he's just absolutely amazing. Also a good man of Phi Beta Sigma as well, my frat brother. So man, really happy to have him here. His books got shipped to the house and they're beautiful. They're amazing as well. So make sure they come out to HomeBase Poetry and check us out. You can see us at homebasepoetry.com. Always, all of our social media sites. Can people follow you on Instagram or anything?
Absolutely.
Come on, let's get that.
Well, I got about 3 pages, but the Academy page is Rare Essence Academy and Rare Essence Studio and Essence China.
There you go, Essence China. So make sure that you're checking out her all over the social media. Check out HomeBase Poetry on Facebook, on Twitter, on Instagram, and the YouTube page is HomeBase Poetry Official, because we are certified, baby. Hey, thank y'all for checking us out. Of course, HomeBase Poetry. This is Conversations with HB. I am HB, and we just spent some time with Essence, rocking and rolling. Hey, y'all have a phenomenal day. I will see y'all next week. Same bat time, same bat channel. Peace.
describe the nature of you.